Hey, okay.
No, it's fine. We'll keep it in there.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right,
My girls
okay.
love you. First off, remember when I told you
Hello.
that he's a hottie? Was I right or was I right? Show him your
How do I look
muscles
in
for a
here?
second.
All right,
Oh.
here we go. Here we go.
Right.
Hold on.
All right,
This is
cool.
the best part.
No.
Is that too much? Sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
It's mine. Okay, just remember that. Okay,
All
go for it.
Okay. Well, hey, welcome. In today's video, we're gonna teach you about movements. Okay. So most people, they're like, I wanna burn fat. I wanna get stronger. I wanna do this, that. How do you get there? That's the key. How exactly will you get to whatever your goal is? And the way you're gonna get there is through movements. So specifically, functional movements. So, with that being said, she's doing the kumbaya thing, the aloha.
Those are movements.
Yeah, so everything you do in nature is gonna be something called a primal pattern, also known as a functional movement. So, what are they? Let me ask you a question, Jasmine. When was the last time you sat down?
Like 2 minutes ago?
Okay, good. That was a squat. That was a squat. She just squatted down there. Did you see that, ladies? That was a squat, right? And what I want you to do is go ahead and pick up my band. Pick up my band from the floor. Whoa, she just did a bend. Wow, go figure. So that's another movement pattern. We had the squat, we had the bend. And you know, sometimes you get mad at me. What do you want to do? You want to push me?
Oh,
Does that mean you push me? Whoa, she just did a push, ladies and gentlemen. That's like a push-up, right? Okay. Now, that was the third. So we have squatting, bending, pushing. Now, let's say I want to run away from you and you don't want me to come. You don't want me to leave. What are you going to do? You're going to pull me back? You're going to pull me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a pull-up. So that's another movement pattern. So we have squatting, bending, pushing, pulling. Did anybody catch that? Watch how I got on the ground. Excuse me, Jasmine. How did I get on the ground? Right? What did I do? That was a lunge. So, how many movement patterns have we had so far? We're at 5?
Mm-hmm.
Squatting, bending, pushing, pulling, lunging.
and twisting.
And twisting, yes. So twisting is how we might put babies on our hips. This is how we actually, when we're walking, that we're rotating or running, right? If I'm gonna throw a basketball or throw this band, I have to twist.
I thought my phone was gonna fall.
So we have squatting, bending, pushing, pulling, lunging, twisting, and we have one more. It's called walking. They also call it a gait, right? G-A-I-T. That's a movement pattern. So we're twisting while we're doing that. Sometimes you can combine movement patterns, but we're not going to do that today. In today's video, we're going to teach you how to do very easy, very basic versions of each of the movements that I just said. Squatting, pushing, pulling, lunging, twisting, and bending. Walking is pretty self-explanatory. Walk with your feet straight. That's pretty much it, okay? Now, when it comes to these movements, a lot of people, they like to jump into a workout or a routine and do movements that they can't really do. For instance, people want to do like jump squats. Well, before you've actually practiced an easier squat, you probably shouldn't be trying jump squats. So today, even though they might seem very simple and easy, they might seem almost mundane and boring to you. If you do them properly, if you go slowly, if you focus, if you concentrate, and you perform it as though it was a real exercise, because it is, you're gonna find that you're gonna get pretty tired pretty easily, and you're gonna feel like you had a workout. And it's very simple to do. You can do them anywhere. So I'm gonna teach you how to do all these movements that we're gonna do today. You can do them at the comfort of your own home. So for instance, this chair that we have here this chair is gonna be the same thing as a chair in your office, right? So I'm gonna teach Jocelyn how to do all the movements today. The most basic version of each movement, and then you're gonna get an idea from yourself on how to do them, okay? I'll show you some common mistakes that people make. Try not to make them yourself, but you'll notice that you're gonna have some of those same mistakes happening. Just rewatch the video, don't make the mistakes, do the corrections I teach you, and you'll be perfect, okay? If your goal is to have a good-looking body, if your goal is to feel stronger, if your goal is to be more good-looking,
I'm having fun.
if your goal is to have more muscular endurance, and your goal is to have more power, any of these goals, if these are your goals, to lose body fat even, you can accomplish them with these movements that I'm going to show you here today. Everything we do in life everything we do in nature is a version of these movements, okay? So even a bicep curl is a pull, a tricep push down is a push, right? Push-ups are push. Squatting, right? You can do overhead squats, you can do deadlifts, that's a bend. They're all part of this movement pattern paradigm. So squatting, bending, pushing, pulling, lunging, twisting, and walking. Those are the 7 functional movements that we do as humans. Here we go, okay? The first one we're gonna do a squat. So Jaslyn is going to take off her shoes, yeah. And thank God she did her nails, right? Her nails, yeah. So take off your socks too, okay? And we're gonna adjust the camera. Raw and unedited, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there we go. All right. Is that good?
I don't see my toes, but I covered them.
Yeah, you're right. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so.
I'm his guinea pig for today, but if you follow along, it'll be fine.
Okay, so some people are more visually oriented, some people are more kinesthetically oriented, some people are more auditorily oriented. I'm going to try to help you no matter what your learning style is today. So the first thing we're going to have Jaslyn do, okay, is we're going to have her put her feet a few inches in front of the chair, okay? And from here, the first thing I want to do is I want to teach you 3 principles that you're going to apply to all the movements that we do. Squatting, pushing, lunging, twisting, all the movement patterns. These 3 principles are the principles of torque, neutral spine, and bracing, okay? She knows time and time again, these are my words. I say them to everyone, all my clients. If you ask them what are the 3 principles, this is what they'll say, okay? I get this from years of experience and from learning some of the best. Kelly Starrett, Charles Paul, Gwen John. These are some of the principles that I've taken from each of these guys, okay? So here we go. The first one is the principle of torque. So the principle of torque, the reason why I wanted her to take off her shoes is because, well, I need her to be able to screw her feet into the ground. Torque is a twisting torsion force, springing power force that gives you stability and increases your ability to lift more weight and perform better. So, the first thing we want to do is we want her feet to be straight, okay? What I want you to do, Jaslyn, is I want you to screw your foot into the ground, right? You're gonna twist this foot one way and you're gonna twist this foot the other way. But what we're not gonna do, Jaslyn, show them what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna do this, right? We're not gonna actually turn our feet out. No, we're simply, if you look at our knees, right? What you're doing is you're opening the arches. So check out her knees. Her knees are turning, right? You see that?
No bueno, good bueno.
Yep, right?
No, good.
Okay. Perfect. So the first thing we're gonna do, have our feet straight, okay? And we're gonna plant our feet down on the ground, right? And what I want you to do is open up the arches. So flatten the arches, right? So flattening the arches, your knees go in. Opening up the arches, your knees kind of go out. They turn out, okay? Right? So you opened up the arches. Now watch Jaslyn, right? Have your hands up real fast, okay? What I want to do is, since you're creating torque, right? Don't create so much torque. You can relax for a second. Don't create so much torque that your toes come off the ground either, okay? What's important to notice is, here, do you want to see my toes? Here we go. I didn't have them done. We should have did them first.
It's okay. His little feet are like hobbit feet. I love them. Look at them. Cringy, cringy.
All right. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to take our toes off the ground. You don't want to create so much torque that your toes come off the ground, right? What you want to do is plant your toe on the ground and just create enough torque. You're going to notice that this bone in here kind of sets in the middle, right? And now it's flat, and your arch is open, right? This is flat, arches flatten, arches open, right? So what we want to do, okay, is we want to open up those arches. What you want to do is open up the arches and then tighten your butt, okay? When you notice, when you do torque, your butt tightens naturally, but I want you to tighten it. And now watch the amount of stability she has, right? She's tight. If I try to pull her, push her, I can't move her. Right? I'm gonna actually push her. You can barely move her, right? Sorry. Alright, now let go of your torque. Good. Let's see how much stability she has now. Barely a push. Do it again. Tighten. Go ahead. Create torque, right? Hands up. You're nice and stable. Alright, let go. Good. Relax. Good. Alright. So, what you want to do is create torque, okay? Because that's going to give you power and stability. Now, that's the first principle. The second principle we're going to do is the principle of the neutral position, right? So what you notice is when you're creating torque, what happens to your glutes, right? Your butt. It tightens. And what that does is it gives you stability, but that sets your pelvis in place, right? So if I'm overextended like this, and I tighten my glutes, what happens to my pelvis? It sets in the right place. Notice her, okay? She kind of has that sway back a little bit, right? So she tightens her glutes, right? And what happens? When she creates torque, that sets the pelvis in place. So go ahead and exaggerate the back, the low back. Stick your butt out, right? Now tighten. You see your pelvis? You saw that shift? All right, do it again. It tightens, it puts the pelvis in the right position, okay? So stand facing the camera. The next thing you want to do is you want to tighten your abdominals. Why do we want to tighten our abdominals, okay? We want to tighten our abdominals in case you're overextended, because when you tighten your abdominals, that brings your rib cage down. So go ahead and tighten your abs up, Jasmine. Boom. So if we look at her, now go to, stand to the side.
I don't have the abs, but it's still pretty.
Stand to the side. Okay. What you'll notice is tighten your glutes, tighten your abs, okay? And the third thing you want to do is tighten your quads. That's going to help you lock your knees out. So when you notice her, she's creating torque, she's in the neutral position, right? She's tightening her glutes, her quads, and her abs. What do you notice about her? Bring your hand down. Good. What do you notice about her? She's a pencil. She's in the hollow position. That's what we call a hollow position in gymnastics. Okay? I'm not a professional gymnast, but I did do some gymnastics and they call this the hollow position. This is the position we'll do a backflip on, right? This is the position that we will land in, jump, we will start in this position, end in this position. And if we ever mess up, we can return to this position. It's called the neutral position. You'll notice divers. Have you ever seen divers? Professional divers?
Oh, no.
They always land like that, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? They land like this. Same thing, ballerinas, you did ballet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so this, right, this position, that ballerinas will start in, and then they'll move, etc. That's the neutral position that they start in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure in practice she was like, okay, get in the pencil, hollow, whatever that position was. That's the neutral position, right? So this is the neutral position, okay? So torque plus neutral position. How do we get in the neutral position? We tighten our abs, tighten our quads, tighten our glutes. How do we create torque? By screwing our feet into the ground, opening up our arches. Now, the third principle is the principle of bracing. So what I'm going to do is, Jasmine, you're in the neutral position, right? You're creating torque. What I'm going to do is I want you to take a deep breath in. Hold it, I'm going to hit you in the stomach. Oh, I'm not actually going to. You know, I love you. What did she do though? Did you notice that? What did she do, ladies and gentlemen? She braced. That's bracing. If you were going to get tackled by a running back or a linebacker, if you were going to get hit by Mike Tyson, if you were going to push a car that was stuck, if you were going to do a karate movement, or you were going to move a really heavy object, all these things, naturally as humans, what we do is we brace. We take a deep breath in, and we brace by not letting the air out. We push the air against our glottis without opening our glottis, without opening our throat. What?
You don't have to make the sound I made though.
Yeah. So take a deep breath in, hold it, and then you would go into the movement. That's bracing, okay? What bracing is it's the Valsalva maneuver, exactly. Basically, the Valsalva maneuver is when you have intra-abdominal pressure, not yet.
I know.
Intra-abdominal pressure inside of your diaphragm, okay? And what that does is it protects your spine. That pressure protects your spine like pillows, okay? And that air tightens because the TVA contracts and the pelvic floor muscles contract, okay? That creates a unit, and the spine is now safe as it moves, twists, turns, lunges, pushes, pulls, gets tackled, whatever, okay? So, what do we have so far, Jasmine? We have 3 principles. What are they?
The twisty thingy, the
torque,
abby thingy, the pencil, and the brace.
Yes, so we have the torque, right?
Torque.
Torque. We have the neutral position.
Not this one. Just sorry.
Torque. The torque, the neutral position, and we have bracing. Okay, so those are the 3 principles we have so far. Okay, so this is where we're going to start and stop in every position. In the neutral position, while creating torque while bracing. Okay, so now when I give her guidance, you're going to exactly know what I mean by these principles. Okay. By the way, I want to let you know something. Okay, let's dispel this myth. Come with me, Jasmine. Come and kneel down with me. Go and lunge down. All right, let's dispel some myths. Okay, if your goal is to increase muscle / gain muscle / lose body fat, which 90% of people in the gym, or 90% of people have that as their goal. If that is your main goal, if your main goal is to have a good looking body, then here are some things you're going to want to know. 2 myths that people, these are 2 big mistakes that people make when they're trying to lose body fat, okay? The 2 mistakes are, the first one is way too much cardio, okay? Let's shorten this really quickly, okay? If your heart rate is elevated above 70% of its max heart rate, you're burning glycogen and muscle. You don't want to burn muscle. Muscle burns fat, okay? The second thing, the second mistake that people make when they're trying to burn body fat is they do machines, right? Machines are great at the end of your workout, but here's why they're not a good option for you pretty much at all, okay? And by machines, I mean things that are on a track. I don't mean cables. I don't mean free motion machines where you have to stabilize. When you're doing machine work, what you are doing is you're working your outer unit. So stand up, Jasmine. Step back. So Jasmine's outer unit, her core, first of all, her core is from her head to her sacrum, okay? To your pelvic bone, the bottom of your pelvic bone. That's her core. Her limbs, this is not her core. And that's not her core. Her legs are not her core, okay? Everything else here is her core. Now, the core is consisted of 2 units. The outer unit and the inner unit. The outer unit is all the muscles you can see, right? The chest, the abs, they're great and all, but they're not part of the inner unit. Whoop, I gave it away. There's another unit, it's called the inner unit. So all the muscles you can see are the outer unit. This is what most people want to work. What they don't realize is there's a second unit, the inner unit. The inner unit is all the muscles along your spine, okay, and that are inside. For instance, the TBA, okay? So look at this. That muscle that wraps around your torso, that's called the TBA. It brings the belly into the spine. That's known to protect your spine, okay? That's one of the muscles that works whenever you're doing functional movements or movements where you have to stabilize. Let me put this on.
I give
Sorry
it 10
to
yesterday.
distract you. Is that why you're mad because I threw it?
Yeah. Because he's my Superman. I have a Superman on it.
She's my superwoman, especially during ovulation, right? She really is. Wonder Woman is ridiculous.
Next, if you're watching the bonus, it's week 6, day 3, menstrual cycle. You'll get there.
All right, back to, let's not even edit this. All right, back to what I was saying. So the inner unit and the outer unit. The outer unit is all the muscles you can see. When you're doing machine work, you're training your outer unit. You're not training your inner unit. You're not. So what you're doing is you're creating imbalance, number 1, and you're also not going to lose body fat because your body will only burn enough calories as it should and use the muscles that it should. So you'll see, there are tons of people, they come to the gym forever, and yet they still have that chubby midsection. What's up with that? Why? Because they haven't trained their inner unit. They're on machines all the time. Okay? So, by the way, when you're doing cardio, you want to be between 60 and 70% of your max heart rate to burn fat. Okay? Above 70 and you're starting to burn muscle and glycogen. I don't think I explained that fully. So, with that being said, I love you.
What do you do?
All right. So, don't do machines. Do functional movements. Functional movements without anything holding you back, right? You want to do things that, so go ahead and stand on one leg. Stand on one leg, okay? Notice, if I push her a little bit, what does she have to do? She has to stabilize herself, right? So she's training these muscles, the inner unit, the TBA, the diaphragm, the multifidi that wrap around the spine, the iliocostalis, and a bunch of different muscles, the QL for instance. These muscles are the part of the inner unit. What you just saw was that, okay, I'm getting technical.
Me.
These muscles that wrap around your spine, Okay, they're the inner unit. When she has to stabilize like this, go ahead and push me. Okay. My inner unit, those, the multifidi, blah, 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 have to contract to balance me and stabilize me. When you have help, if you're holding on to something or if you're on a machine, you're not working those muscles. If you want to burn body fat, do functional movements. Here we go, okay? So, back to what we were talking about. Torque, neutral position, and bracing, all right? Now we can actually start to do the movements, all right? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get in the neutral position. Go ahead and create torque, okay? From here, what I want you to do is I want you to raise your hands up, straight forward, okay? From here, I want you to get this clear, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna bend / hinge at the hip. First, hold on, come back up. Good, that was excellent. First, then you wanna break at the knees. If you want knee pain, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna break at the knees. You don't want knee pain. Don't break at the knees first. The first joint to break takes 70% of the load. It takes the majority of the load, okay? So if your knees break first, your knees are gonna take the majority of the load. But if your hips break first, your hips are going to take the majority of the load, okay? So break at the hip first, okay, Jaza? Good, now break at the knees, good. Right, do you see what she's doing? Boom, 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 boom. And what you're going to do is, come back up, excellent. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you something, Jaza. You've never even met my friend Paula. I don't want to show Jaza and Paula, but she has to meet her. Here's Paula, Paula the pole, okay?
I was like, what's this?
All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to face that way.
This way?
Yep, face that way.
This way.
Alright, so notice this. This is going to help her with her posture, okay? Notice something. If I'm like this, that's not good posture. If I'm like this, that's not good posture. You can have all the abs in the world, but if you don't have good posture, you're not a good looking person, period. That's just how it is, okay? So here we go. Alright, you're going to put the pole on 3 points, okay? You have a pole, you have a broomstick, you have a dowel rod. Use this to help you do the movements the right way, okay? So from here, 1 point, 2 points, right? Relax the shoulders, and then 3 points on her butt. All right, go ahead and shrug over. Yep. So you notice it's on 2 points now, right? Come back to neutral. It's on 3 points now. You notice that? Now go ahead and cock your head back. Cock your head back. It's on 2 points now. All right. Come forward. Now it's on 3 points. Okay.
The problem is the booty.
Yep. What most people are going to do who have an anterior pelvic tilt, I will talk about that another time. They have tight hip flexors, okay? If you are one of these people where you do this very often, don't do that, okay? If I do this, right? If I do this, I'm on 2 points, right?
It looks great for the booty, but it's not going to work for you long term.
It's not good for your spine. Causes compression, pain. Don't do that, okay? So it's going to be on this point. So if I'm doing a bend, right? And we'll talk about this. What do I need to do? I just need to go this far. If I start going even further, what's going to happen? I'm going to round my back, come back, right? Okay? Same thing with the squat. Let me show you Jasmine. We're going to put this on her, and she's going to go and squat, okay? Because that's the first movement. Then we'll talk about bending, okay? So from here, what I want you to do, Jasmine, okay, is I want you to create torque, get in the neutral position, okay? Take brace, and then break at the hip, okay? And then at the knees. Then break at the knees right after, okay? Chin down, chest up. Whoa, 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 stop. Right here, chin down, chest up. Right. So you look at the back ankle. So keep going. Right here, head down. Okay, good. Knees out. Right there, stop. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to bring the butt up. Now bring the torso up at the same time. Good. Keep going. Boom. Very good. So what you'll notice is that
that was difficult, by the way.
when you're creating torque, what you'll notice is your knees naturally go out, okay? So we're gonna show you what we mean. Let me show you. Go ahead and squat, okay? We're not gonna use the pole because you get the point. You need to be using this, okay? Don't worry.
Get a second person for that. Or hold it.
What I want you to do is grab a chair, okay? I don't want you to do squats without a chair. I want you to have a chair, some kind of platform to squat on. I don't want you to go too low. I want you to go right to about knee height, okay? So what I want you to do is we're gonna do this 10 times, okay? We're just gonna do this 10 times, and then what I'm gonna explain to you is that you need to do this for multiple sets. That 10 times, those are called 10 repetitions. A group of repetitions is a set, okay? So what we're gonna do are 3 sets of 10 reps.
Like right now?
No, we're not gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
You and I are
I
gonna
heard
do,
you worked out.
you already did. You and I are gonna do 10, but they, watching, are gonna do 3 sets of 10.
In other words, pause it and then rewind and then do it again with me.
All right, just like that. All right. So here we go, Jasmine. Come on. We're running out of time.
We're fine.
Hands up. Okay. Tighten your glutes. All right. Hinge at the hips. Break at the knees. Good. And notice. Stop right there. Notice her knees. They're going out. Do you see that? What you need to do is make sure your knees are going out. So keep going down, Jasmine. Tilt, tilt, tilt. Until you touch the boom right there. Okay.
I haven't touched it.
Good.
Oh, I'm like way too forward. Got it.
So you fall forward because she has tight hip flexors. So come back down. Come back down. Come back down.
Wait.
Okay, what I want you to do is tighten your abs. Okay, good. Tighten your abs and then go. Now go down, go down, go down. Tighten your abs. Keep them tight.
I can't.
Good. Now, try it again.
Okay, hold on.
Don't let go of your abs. Okay. Keep everything tight.
Okay.
So hands up.
I'm getting ready. Twerking. Okay.
Twerk.
Twerk.
Okay. Now hinge at the hip. Then bring in the knees immediately. Immediately after. There you go. Now touch down. Touch down. Touch. Good. Touch. Head down. Head down. Now raise the hips up first, then the torso. Boom, 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 boom. That's 1. Go again. You gotta do it again. Come on. You gotta show your ladies. 2. Touch. 2. Keep the head down. Okay. You're 1 unit. You're 1 unit. Yep. There you go. Pick a spot on the floor and stare at that spot 5 feet in front of you. Okay. That's 3. That's 3, right? 4. 4. Most people, their knees cave in. Don't cave in, okay? And what most people do is they'll break at the low back like this. Don't do that. Hinge at the hip first, okay? And don't shrug forward, right? You're gonna be horizontal just like she is, if you notice. Her back angle, she's at 45 degrees or less. That's okay, as long as she's not hunching over. As long as she's not doing this, right? That's not good, right? Touch down. Good. Now, Jasmine, what I want you to do is do it on the side, facing that way. So let them see your back angle, how perfect your back angle is. Okay? She's got it down. You see her back angle? I want you to bring your chin down.
Sorry.
Just so they can see the pencil-like fashion, right? So stop right there. So notice your back angle. Now raise your hips up, push your hips up, and bring the torso up. Bring the torso up. Bring the torso up. Excellent. Good job. Good. What do you got so far?
I think I'm at 8.
So continue creating torque the whole time. Go ahead. Do it again. Good, high five, good job. All right, that was 10. All right, so that's how you do it. All right, that's a squat. Now she probably wants to lay down. It's okay, sweet. She needs some apple juice. All right, the next one we're gonna do the bend. Okay, so the bend is gonna be easy for people like her who have a tight low back and a tight hip flexion. By the way, if you're one of the people that stick out your butt a lot and you notice that the front of your hips are always tight, your back is always tight, these muscles work together. The hip flexors and the low back. So what you need to do is you need to strengthen your hamstrings a little more and your abdominals, okay? For me, I'm the opposite. I'm more like this, okay? My hamstrings are super tight. My hamstrings are tight. My abs are tight. I'm like this, okay? So what I need to do, I need to spend more time strengthening my hip flexors and my low back. So for me, the bend is gonna be a lot more challenging, okay? So she's gonna have an easier time with it than me, okay? So which means, honestly, that I need to do it more than she does, right? And she needs to stretch her hip flexors, stretch her low back. I need to stretch my hamstrings and my abs. You know what type you are because you know what muscles you don't like stretching. Those are the muscles you need to stretch, all right? Anyways, we're gonna do a bend today, which you're gonna find very easily, all right? I want you to face that way. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you hold this on your spine, all right? So this is Paula, me, Jasmine, me, Paula. She doesn't like Paula very much. All right, you see this gap? All right, let go for a second. Let go. Okay. You see the gap in the low back that she has, right? I want you to close that gap by tightening your abs and tightening your glutes. You see how the gap closes a little bit? You still want a tad bit of a gap. You just don't want to have one of these, right? So notice what I'm doing here, right? You see this big gap in the back? You don't want that, right? You don't want that. Close it, tighten your glutes, and close it, okay? Just like that.
He's officially teaching me now. You're officially teaching me now.
Okay.
I have to remember this. I always forget.
Okay. Tighten the glutes, tighten the abs. That sets everything in place, remember, okay? From here, what I want you to do is, this is a basic bend, okay? What I want you to do is, while creating torque, Jocelyn, I want you to break at the hip, okay? Break at the hip, break at the hip, then at the knees, okay? And I want you to just continue bending forward, bending forward, bending forward, bending forward. Good. You see there? Now come, raise the hips up, raise the hips up. Hips up first, then the knees, or then the torso. Good job. Do it again. Okay? Tighten the abs. Good. Wait, stop, hold on. We always start in the neutral position, creating torque and bracing, right? Take a deep breath in. Good. Do it again. Okay, bend at the knees, break at the knees, break at the knees. It's not a squat. No. It's not a squat. You're bending, right? You're just bending. Your knees are slightly bent. Come up. Bring your hips up first. Hips up first. Hips up first. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings as you lift up. So watch me, okay? I'm bending, right? I need to bring my hips up, then my torso, okay? You should feel a stretch in your hamstring. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be coming up like this. You should be coming up like this. Butt up, and then come up like that. Did you see that? Okay? Boom. On here, butt up, and then come up.
Do it again.
You did 4, I think?
I don't know.
Yep.
I'll do it again.
What? I was just kidding.
How mean! Okay, let's do it again.
It's okay to be horizontal. As you can see, what's not okay is to slouch or overextend. These things, when you're slouching, you're flexing the spine. When you're extending, you're overextending the spine. These both these things are not good. So, by now, you've done 3 sets of 10 rep squats, right? Very slowly. What I want you to do is count to 4 on the way up and 4 on the way down. For instance, if I was doing a bicep curl, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how slow I want you to go. So do 3 sets of 10 reps going very slow of the squats, and then 3 sets of 10 reps doing the bends. But you're wondering, only 3 sets? Yes, some of you might be freaking out like that's too much. Well, yes, you gotta start somewhere. When, as a trainer, what we know is that we don't just put you all the way up there immediately. We don't go here, right? When we're trying to get to X result, or we're at X, we're trying to get to Y, right? We need to slowly progress our way forward. Don't jump in the lion's pit immediately. Do enough to make you feel good and have energy, train, don't drain.
For my overachievers, because I know I am one myself, he says 3 reps, and you're like, I'll do 5. I've got this. Do me a favor and stick to the 3 for now. And if you could do the 3, then talk to Yusuf again.
She meant sets.
The 3 sets.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Cool? I'm just giving you a heads up. Don't do it. Trust me. Don't do it.
Alright. So you don't want to overtrain yourself, you'll be drained after. Train, don't drain. Right. Alright. So we did bends, we did squats. Great. What's the next movement? We're going to do lunges. Why are we going to do these movements before we do any other movements? Well, mainly because the squat works way more muscles. Let's talk about the squat for a second, actually. Okay? Since you're women, you're watching this, okay? We're going to do lunges in a second, but I want to talk to you about the squats. Squats are going to get you the body you want. If there's 2 movements you need to do that are going to get you the body you want, the movements I just taught you are the movements that you need to do. Okay? Squats and bending. Squats and bending work all the muscles in your body pretty much. Okay? The whole posterior chain, all of your legs, all of your glutes. Alright? But when you squat and your knees go in, you're not working your butt. Okay? So when you squat, make sure your knees go out, right? Make sure your knees go out as you squat down.
Not this.
Okay?
Not this.
Make sure your knees go out. And you will be working your butt. In addition to that, you're working all the muscles in the unit and the outer unit, okay? The squat works almost everything. If you want a nice butt, if you want a nice hips, you want a nice midsection, you need to squat, okay? If you want to look like Jazz, then you need to squat.
I'm kidding, guys.
All right, so.
I squat a lot, though.
And then bending, same thing. All right.
And for my Legally Blonde fans, bend and snap. Think of that. Done.
Yes. All right, so squatting, bending. Third movement pattern is called the lunge. So from here, what I want to teach you is how to do a stationary lunge. So the squat I taught you was the chair squat. The bend I taught you was a basic bend, just a bend. And then the third one we're going to teach you is the stationary lunge.
Okay.
Were you about to yawn?
No. By the way, girls, he hasn't mentioned this yet, but if you don't have a pole, if you're not, you don't have a stripper pole at home, do yourself a favor and just get a mop. Just get a mop. Just get like your mop or a broom or something like that, and then you can do the exact same thing. You can like screw it off if anything.
Yep. All right. So the lunge. We're going to do a stationary lunge. What I want you to do is from where you're at, Johnson, get in the neutral position. Okay. Hold the pole, Paula, on your back. On all 3 points, okay? Make sure you have it. It's gonna make sure that you keep the right posture. This thing has been a lifesaver for all my clients, all right? From here, what I want you to do is I want you to extend your leg all the way back, right? As far as you can. Stand up on the toes, okay? And the balls of your feet like this, okay? Not flat, okay? From there, what we wanna do is we wanna basically keep this knee stable. This knee doesn't need to move, okay? Especially not go in, okay? And it doesn't need to go far forward. That's how you get knee pain, all right? Now, what you want to do is you want to keep this stable and bend the knee in the back while keeping the spine straight. Touch the ground slightly. Come up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Back down. Just like this. Touch. Good. Keep going. Make sure to bring your big toe. Spread your toes out, right? Spread your toes out. Good. Back up just a touch, Jasmine. Just a tad. That was too much. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back to the neutral position. If you ever need to find your ground, get into the neutral position.
I'm gonna switch.
Make sure they can see your toes so they see your feet fine, okay?
They can see them.
Okay, good. Ready? Good.
Alright.
Wait, get in the neutral position.
I'm
Great
planting,
torque.
I'm planting.
And then brace. Go ahead. You smell so good, by the way. Okay? Her knee came forward. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop it from going forward. What do you have to do in the back to go? You have to bend more in the back,
Oh
right?
my god.
That's a real lunge. Everyone always does that. Everyone always does that. They always freak out when I do this. Because they actually are doing a lunge now.
Oh my god.
Okay?
Oh, down.
Big toe
Down in
down.
the corner. Okay.
Spread the knees out. Good. Good. Alright.
I'm gonna do one more.
Alright, relax. Good, come forward. Good. So we did squatting, bending, and lunging. Now, let me just state something really fast.
Pauletta's mine now. You can't have her.
Oh. It was Paula, but okay.
Sorry, Paula.
Alright, so most people that do these movements or even think about these movements say to me, when I tell them they need to do these movements, oh, I don't want to do that. They hurt. Let me ask you a question. How did you get in and out of that toilet this morning? By squatting. So you squat no matter what. How do you pick things up from the ground? How do you pick your kids up? How do you bend and snap? How do you do anything?
The bend and snap.
How do you do these things? By doing them. You do them no matter what. We're just loading it, right? But in this case, we're not even loading it. By load, I mean we're not adding weight, okay? We're just teaching you how to do them right because you're gonna do them no matter what. The key is to learn how to do them with good form, good posture, good biomechanics, because that's what this is, using the 3 principles I just taught you, okay? And by making sure that no matter what happens, that we go slow. Go slow, pace yourself. That's how you're gonna build more muscle. The more time your muscle is under tension, the more it's gonna build. And if you want a nice booty, you need muscle. If you want a nice body, you need muscle. Ugly bodies don't have any muscle, okay? If you're fat or if you're too skinny, either or, you don't have any muscle. If you don't have any shape to you, it's because you don't have muscle. You need muscle, okay? So, you do these movements no matter what. They're not the movements that are bad. It's, no offense, you, all right? Anyways, hope they don't hate me. I love you. Well, I love your girls. They're nice. Even though I don't know you. So, with that being said, but I love you more. Look, I'm on one knee for you.
No. Yes,
No.
baby, yes.
Not yet. I'm just kidding. I love you. All right. So I'm gonna lunge up, right? Boom. What's the third movement? Lunge. That was the lunge. Squat, bend, lunge. What's the fourth movement? What would you like to do?
Twisting.
Twisting. Okay, really? You want to do twisting?
Yeah, I like twisting.
Okay. All right. Sorry that I asked, but here's what we're gonna do second. We're gonna do the fourth movement we're gonna do is one that requires more muscles. Remember, the squat requires more muscles than the bend requires more muscles than the lunge. So what you want to do is you want to do the movements that are going to take up the most energy and just be the most challenging and the ones that work the most muscles, all right? So we're going to do a pull, okay? So, Jaslyn, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to have you do a pull over here. Pulling, okay? These are called rows. All right, come over here, Jaslyn.
Hi.
So I'm gonna bring the camera down.
I'm gonna move the ball.
All right. Raw and unedited, ladies
You can't
and
see all of
gentlemen.
me though.
Yep, don't worry.
Hi. There you go.
I don't know. Maybe we should edit it. Right? No. Here's what we're gonna do: pulls. Okay. So in this movement pattern, the pull, also known as the row, works the back and the biceps. The squat works the legs, your core, and basically your low back. The bend works the low back, your hamstrings, and your glutes, plus the core. All these movements work the core, and then the row is gonna work your back and your biceps, okay? Also your core as well, okay? So here we go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get underneath this right here, okay? And what I want you to do is get in the neutral position, Jasmine. Get in the neutral position, tighten your glutes, create torque by bending the bar. It's important you bend the bar. What I mean by bend the bar is act like you're bending the bar, your elbow's gonna go in, okay? Take a deep breath in, tighten, bend the bar, and from here, what you wanna do is pull up, touch, and then come down. All right? So here's the key to this. If this is too hard for you, bring it higher. If that's too hard for you, bring it even higher. Okay? Most people have monkey bars somewhere around them. That's where you're gonna need to go and find some monkey bars. And what you're gonna do is grab a chair. If the bar is high, you need something to put your feet on to make it easier. Okay? If you have a bar and your feet are on the ground, the higher.
Works too, by the way, like a dining table.
A table does work too. If you have a bar or whatever sort of contraption, some kind of bar, the higher up you go, the easier it is. The lower you go, the more difficult it's going to be. Okay, so ready? Let's go. Let's try it. I want you to do it facing that way. Okay, and then we're going to do a few.
Hands this way, right?
Nope. Over.
This way?
We're going to do overhand. We're going to do overhand. Okay. Good. Neutral position. From here, take a deep breath in. Create torque. Elbows in. Good. Now pull. 1, good. Head neutral, everything neutral. Good. 2, good. And when I notice she's struggling a little bit, and we're trying to get to 10, so what am I gonna do? As a trainer, I know we need to make it easier. Come up, bring your feet high. Now you're gonna come from there. Pull your feet up, okay? Push your feet up. Nope, you're gonna extend fully, good. Okay? The closer the feet is to the bar, the easier. The further they are from the bar, the more difficult. So pull, good. Remember, she's in the neutral position, she's braced, she's creating torque with her arms. Okay, good. I know it's tough, right? All right, come out of it. Good job. Good. And how did she get off the floor? She squatted off the floor, ladies and gentlemen. So that was the pull, okay? So all these movements, you're gonna do 3 sets of 10 reps. Okay, what you can do is you can do one movement, then the other, then the other, then the other, in a rotation, in a circuit fashion, okay? Then you can go back to the original, okay? Now, what's the next movement? We're gonna do the push-up. Most people, especially men, love push-ups, but women tend to not like push-ups because, well, men are stronger in the upper body, women are stronger in the lower body. But if you want to have nice breasts, okay? No matter who you are, everyone wants to have perky breasts. The muscle along your chest will pull your breast up. Your breast is not just fat, it's muscle. It will be pulled up. You're not gonna lose your breasts by doing push-ups, okay? It's gonna perk them up nicely, okay? It's gonna burn fat because muscle burns fat. Hope you know that. Now, push-ups, okay? Let's show you how to do a push-up. All right. Do you think we can see you?
That's too low.
Come up, come down, Jaslyn. We're gonna get down on the ground. A push-up. You can do a push-up. You know what a push-up is? Yeah.
I thought you did the wall one.
No, no wall squats. No. We're gonna do
No,
push-ups,
that was
okay?
okay, never mind.
Okay, get in the push-up position. Okay. Okay. So notice she's in the neutral position. What I want her to do now is create torque. What is she gonna do? Screw her hands into the ground, right? Elbows in. You're gonna screw your hand this way, clockwise, counterclockwise. All right. So I already know that as a woman, most women, I know it sounds weird, you're gonna need to do knee push-ups. You see how her butt's sticking out? Even though she's on her knee, right? You wanna get in a neutral position. See, nope, nope, bring your feet down, right? Good. You see how she's a pencil. Let's grab Paula. Okay, Paula is gonna show us she's in the neutral position. Is she in the neutral position? Good, whoa, okay, good. You see that? So notice her knee, your butt, your rib cage, and your ears need to be all in a straight line, right? So if I did this, right here, are they all in a straight line? Yes. All right, cool. All right, from here, Jasmine, whoa, are you in the same position? Good. Create torque. Okay, good. Take a deep breath in, tighten. All right, now what I want you to do is I want you to push down, okay, go down into the push-up while keeping your elbows vertical. Elbows vertical.
I gotta move it forward.
Okay, boom. Elbows vertical, boom. And come up, tighten. Good. Tighten your glutes, Jasmine.
This is a lot harder than it looks.
Tighten your glutes, there we go. Tighten your abs, good. Go down. You're twisting, right? Elbows in. Elbows in. Notice she has vertical forearms, right? Boom. All right. That's the push-up. All right. Very basic, very easy. You can do it. All right. Another thing you can do is that's too difficult. You can grab some platforms. The higher up you are, the easier it's going to be, like so. All right. Let's say that was too difficult, right, Jasmine? Go ahead and show them how you would do it on there, right?
This way?
Hold the side. Yep. As long as your elbows are going in, right? You would do it off of a platform. This, okay? Go ahead and do it. It's going to be easier. Get in a neutral position. Good.
Wait.
Boom. All right. Keep the glutes tight. Tighten. Do it again. Excellent. That's it. Okay. Now, so we've done squatting, bending, pushing, lunging. The next thing we're going to do is twisting. Yep.
Yay.
All right. So that's the last one. The thing about twisting is if you have back pain, it might be challenging for you, okay? Now, when it comes to twisting, there's many different types of twists. I'm gonna teach you a very, very, very basic one you're gonna do today, okay? You're gonna need someone or something to hold your feet down. I'm gonna show you how to do this because I've actually never shown you this before. All right?
That's what I wanted to do, actually.
Move this way.
How do you want me?
Move this way, okay? Actually, you're gonna move that way. Or you're gonna hold my feet down.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So notice something about me, okay? All right. I'm here. Okay. What I'm gonna do is hands touching your head with your hands. Okay. Not yanking on your neck. You're not gonna pull on the back of your neck like this. Touch with your fingertips. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crunch up. Okay. Like so. And I'm gonna twist. Boom. Back to the middle. And then twist. My whole torso. Okay. And then back. Boom. Okay, that's the Russian twist with your elbows, okay? Now, here's the key. Don't yank on your neck. Also, make sure that your torso is doing the twisting, right? So go ahead and hold on my feet this way. Let's do this. Go ahead and hold my feet here.
They're not going to see you.
Oops. Once again, raw and unedited. Okay. Is that good? All right, here we go. So, notice. Am I good?
I don't know yet.
Can they see me?
No.
Okay. Right here?
They can't see your face yet.
We're gonna have to edit this.
That's worse.
That's what I meant to do.
Yeah, that should be good.
All right.
Move Pauletta. I like
So notice me, okay? Back to what we were doing. Interesting. All right, from here, okay, crank, grab, don't crank on the neck, okay? Chin down, chest up, right? Bring the elbows like this, okay? Crunch with the fingertips like this, and you're gonna twist, okay? Your whole torso. I'm not just doing my elbows. This is not gonna do you anything, okay? You need to twist your whole torso, not just your elbows, okay? So this is a version of it. Take it slow, be easy.
Ooh, I heard that too. His back cracked.
And that's it, all right? All right, so you would do that 1-1, right? That turn, 1-1 is 1 rep, and then 2, that's 2, all the way to 10. Do that 3 times 10, okay? So that's 30 reps total, just like every other movement. 3 sets of 10 reps, all right? So, what have we done today so far? We've done squatting, bending, pushing, pulling, lunging, and twisting, all right? The only one left is to walk. So walking is actually very functional. It's actually great for you. Walking in nature is gonna get you sunlight, which is good. It's gonna help you actually burn body fat. There are studies that show that, okay? Also, sunlight's gonna give you serotonin, which actually increases your happiness, makes you feel better, right? Also, walking is going to help you burn body fat, because when you're walking between 60 and 70% of your max heart rate, you're burning glycogen, which is stored glucose, and then fat. And then body fat. If that is a goal for you, then go ahead and walk. So if you do all these things, pushing, pulling, lunging, twisting, bending, squatting, lunging, and walking, you will get the body of your dreams, okay?
Yay!
All right? And that's it, okay? So another great thing to do, honestly, is this last exercise that I want to show you. Okay, I'm going to show it to you personally. It's called the prone cobra. She knows what it is. It's just a good exercise for posture. So sometimes, I drive, I work on my laptop a lot. I find myself doing this sometimes. Okay, this is going to be the opposite of that for you. So let me show you. Okay, so we're both going to do it, Jasmine. So I want you to do it, and then I'm going to pick a spot right next to you. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn over. Okay. All right. From here, what you want to do is you want to extend your toes, extend your toes. Okay, and then tighten your glutes. Okay. And then from here, tighten your quads and lift up, okay? Just like that. Now, what you're gonna do from the top, okay? Come down, come back down. You're gonna lift your head, chin down, okay? Chin down, chest up, okay? And what I want you to do is, I want you to turn your arms over like you had soup, okay? Now what I want you to do is bring the arms up, okay? Just like this, and hold the soup, okay? Chin down, chest up. Boom, that's the movement, okay? Stay there, Jasmine. We're gonna do this. Let's compete. Let's see who's got it. She's got a stronger back.
I started though.
No, she didn't. I'm just kidding. I did. All right, ready?
1,
Okay.
2,
3. I'm already feeling it. You know why? Because I don't have a strong back like you do. So I'm holding soup. And then what you can also do is you can actually extend your arms up like this to the side,
cheater.
right? Well, I lost. Yeah. She's gonna do this forever. It's just.
I could stay for longer, but I will finish for the day.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Yusuf Varzideh.
And I'm Jasmine.
And that was everything today on how to move. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you want any more tips, tricks, tools, tactics, strategies, feel free to email me at varzideh@gmail.com. That is my personal email. It's spelled Y, V as in Victor, A-R, Z as in zebra, I, D as in dog, E as in egg, H @gmail.com. That is my personal email. Feel free to ask me questions. I do this for a living. I love it. It's my life. It's my passion. And if I can offer anything to you by help, knowledge, wisdom, expertise, I'm here for you, okay?
I'll make sure to put the email underneath this video at some point as well. And also, you can also just ask me and I will pass you over to him. And do get used to that last day because at some point, it'll be mine. Mwah. Bye, ladies. I'll see you in week 7. ugh.